It's week 6 recap, week 7 power ranking. Let's go. It was a heck of a week in Missouri high school football. We got to see a fun little game there. Helias hosting Cap City. It was Helias' homecoming. Got to see some cool different traditions, some different takes on the
100%.
homecoming. Liked that a lot. Had a mid hot dog.
But it was free, so was it really mid?
Free hot dog, you always plus 1 or 2 on the rankings. But no, it was a good week. Had some cool stuff happen around the state and the country if you were some teams. And let's get right into it. What's your biggest takeaway from this week at Helias?
Biggest takeaway is Helias' defense coordinators know how to stop the run. And they just do it every single week. You got Cap City coming in there averaging over 300 yards rushing a game. You didn't see any of it. Their biggest play was a pass play. Unfortunately, one of the running backs got hurt just from simply how physical Helias was being. And that's no shade. It was a perfect tackle by Ben, but he was physical. And that's what they bring. That's what their defense is about.
That's what I was going to say is one of the things that impressed me the most about Helias was their physicality. I mean, they hit hard all night long, a couple turnovers, forced at least one fumble, but I think it was 2 that they forced just from hard hits. The only thing their defense gave up was a super short field touchdown. And that's all they gave up, and that was early on in the game. And after that, the score I don't think reflected as great a game as it was for Helias. Pretty close score, but they really BTA'd Cap City pretty bad. Cap City did not move the football.
100%. That's the first thing I wanted to tell the Capital City head coaches. They came out, they played a really hard game against a really good team, and that should not discourage them. This is a really, really good team. And obviously he said, we're still first in districts after this game. Like, we can't let silly games like this get in our head. Like, we know coming in this is going to be a hard game. If we lose it, we lose it, but we can't look at this and let it dictate our season. I love that response by the coach.
Certainly, and they're still a pretty new football program.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think the culture that coach is really trying to and has really established there at Cap City is one that is a hard-playing team, physical. They love to run the ball. They had a great rushing attack last year. Running back graduates, and they still have another great rushing attack this year. So they haven't got away from it. That's really cool to see. But then you turn your eyes and you look at Helias. I think if you were to pick a team from the Jeff City Conference this year, the CMAC, you knew Helias was going to win.
100%.
And really, if you looked at their schedule, did you have any L's marked on their schedule at the beginning of the season for Helias, for their regular season?
No. No.
And I think they've come out and proven that. We don't think the CMAC is that strong this year.
Sadly. And then that's no hate on the CMAC. You graduated a lot of talent last year, whether it was Camdenton, Rockbridge, but
Cap City.
And then you got to love a Hickman who brought in Battle's old head coach, and now they're 5-1.
I would say Hickman is the surprise of the
100%.
CMAC for sure. It's cool to see. They have been bad.
That's no hate on them. It's now they got a coach that's willing to come in and dedicate and put time into his students and his athletes and create a culture there that's never really existed. Hickman's never really been the football team of Columbia specifically. You got Battle in Rockbridge.
Certainly. And you've seen Smith Cotton get better this year. You've seen Hickman, like you said. You've seen Capital City continue to build their culture. And then you've seen some other teams maybe had some slip-ups in culture or talent levels that they have on their teams and on their rosters. But it's cool. I think this is a young conference. I think they'll continue to get better. And Helias has been a beneficiary of having a strong program this year and then just putting it to some of these younger programs that are young in their culture and the experience of what their football team is. Rockbridge, I think, I really kind of figured Rockbridge would have a little bit stronger of a season this year. Just because I thought they had the talent there, and I think they do, but I think losing their quarterback last year, really tough. Starting as a true freshman, having a hell of a season, really.
He's starting at NIU. He's having a great season. Brady. make us proud.
He's one of our favorite players to watch last
100%.
year.
And that was one of those situations to where your quarterback was making throws every single time. Maybe the receivers didn't bring it in, but the coaches still let him sling the ball, let him do his thing.
So, Brady really carried them to a district championship and then lost to a really, really good Smet team that went on to win state. To be fair, midway through the season last year, it didn't look like they were going to go on that run.
No.
So we're kind of midway through the season this year, and maybe they're going to do something similar. I mean, they'd only lost one game last year up until that point. Maybe they weren't blowing teams out as much as we wanted to see them do last year. But maybe we should have been bigger believers. This year, there's time to turn it around. But we'll see. Class 6 is tough, especially that side of the bracket this year.
And we said this at the very beginning of the season. Rockbridge has one of the best coaching staffs in the state. They're adding previous Mizzou football players and coaches. They got Perkins there. Love him or hate him, he's one of the best coaches in the state of Missouri. And he knows culture. He will come in and implement that at your school, and he has done that so far, I think. So.
And he does. And like I said earlier, that's really the only knock we have on Elias is kind of their weak schedule. And that's why we might be surprised what the power rankings are looking like this year. But let's go ahead and get into those power rankings. We have 3 teams that are receiving votes. Give me one sentence to describe Liberty.
Liberty, Bibberty. Liberty strikes again, 6-0. This is their final test of the season before postseason. Will they get it done at Blue Spring South?
We're going to be at that game. I'm really looking forward to it. A little hint, we're going to be at that game. Liberty's got it going on. Has a weaker schedule than Blue Spring South, but this game's going to be a tell-all. See who gets to jump up and probably stay in the rankings because, both teams' schedules do get tough to close out the year, so we'll see what happens. Another team receiving votes, Carthage. What do you think about Carthage?
Carthage is, I'm telling you, I can't tell who's going to win that district yet. That has to be the best district in the state of Missouri, probably the best district in the past 10 or 20 years.
Oh, it's Branson. Good team. Carthage. Really good team. Neosho.
Yeah.
Playing their tail off this year. Parkview. Republic. Really good team this year. Webb City. Really good team this year. And then Willard. So, you're looking at that whole district. We got 7 teams in that district, and 5 of them.
I think 5 of them could win.
Branson
undefeated last year. Neosho had beat Lebanon by 50. So it's like there's another good Class 5 team that they destroyed. Carthage, Webb City, and Republic, all top 7 in their class.
And there's really only one team outside of that district on that side of the bracket that is a threat at state, and that would be Grain Valley. So I think whoever wins that has a real chance at making a run at state.
To go meet Platt?
So, we'll meet Platt in the semis.
Yeah.
So, we'll see what happens there, because it will be Platt on that side of the bracket, playing one of those teams that we just ran through. The last team that's receiving votes is a Class 1 school in Thayer.
Yep.
And they're really good.
They're doing it.
They're ridiculous. They had another one of those teams that has a weird playoff run ahead of them. Yes. Be stacked. They have Marionville in the same district. It's going to be a tough run at, but one of those 2 teams.
Go play Tipton. I'm telling you, this Class 1's exciting.
It is.
I haven't been this excited. We have 3 Class 1 teams in our top 15, and there's no other place I'd rather be than that.
And Thayer's got a talented roster, too. It's not. I don't think they're just beating up on other small schools. They have a talented roster.
They're moving up.
Kabul, beat the brakes off of them. Saw the highlights. Shout out to Ozark Sports Zone. You want to see some of those highlights. They had a really good clip that they put up for them this week. Go check it out. Now let's get into our honorable mentions. At number 12, we have Lift for Life Academy.
Yes. Sadly, they didn't play a game, so we didn't see what they looked like, but I said this last week, and I'll restate it. They went to SLU and only lost by a point. And SLU is a top 6. I think they were 6th in Class 6. They're 6th team in Class 6, and they're in Class 3. How many other teams I even said this last week and I'll say it again. How many other teams in the nation are doing that? Going up 3 classes to the best class in your state and almost beating them at their grade.
Not very many. And on top of that, they do have some sort of swag, some sort of vibe about them because, we've been to a couple schools that are playing them later on in the year, and they all have Lift for Life circled, and they're worried about the speed that Lift for Life has on the outside. They have 2 Division I recruits playing receiver there.
It's legit.
And they're going to be excited to see. We saw them last year. They were a good school last year.
Yep.
Kind of surprises popped up on our radar late in the season last year. But they have stayed on our radar early. We've seen what they've done so far. Some close losses to really good teams. Sometimes a close loss to a really good team is more impressive than a victory against a really crappy team. Right above them, let's go back to Class 1. Marionville Comets, ranked 11th.
Like I said, and then we're posting the video. By the time you see this, the video's already posted. Marionville's my favorite to win Class 1. I have them over Tipton. Jason, Jacob both have Tipton. I have Marionville. Obviously, whoever wins that side of the bracket, I personally believe is going to go win state, whether it's against Putnam County or Adrian or
you got some good teams in there.
Good teams, but I just personally think it's kind of looking like a Class 5 vibe.
You got Salisbury as well.
Yeah, Salisbury. I think it's just looking like a Class 5 to where that semifinal game is gonna pretty much be state championship.
And we might have not treated Class 1 fairly last year, but this year Class 1 has our eyeballs. Some of the best games have been played all year. There's been a lot of Class 1 teams playing up this year and beating Class 2, Class 3, even some Class 4 teams. That's really cool to see. We love small town football. Been to a couple of them this year.
I love it.
And even though the atmosphere might not be as big, I've really enjoyed every game that we've gone to. It's been fun.
I get more goosebumps at those games than I would a Knicks or Republic game. So
you see the culture, you see the small towns come together, and that is really, really neat to see. And right above them, we got your boys.
Elias Catholic. Who else would it be? It's Elias. Sadly, had to bring him down. And it's like a whole Platte County situation. I'll just say this. No one moved out of our top 12. We just rearranged. And it's simply because you're very, very good. It's maybe you had a crappy win that week. Or you just didn't have a quality opponent that week. And I think it was a little bit of both from Elias this week. Not that it was a crappy win, but it was Capital City. I would love to see on homecoming 35-point win.
I will say they didn't look bad for the entire game. They looked sloppy, and they looked like they didn't have any energy in the first half. And that was really weird look coming from Elias. I hadn't seen that from them in the past, but that's my take. Their energy was low, and they looked a little bit sloppy in the first half. Second half, their defense was really good, but you really want to see more from an offense.
All they really had in the first half was, and I'll just say this, in the first 2 minutes of the game, they scored 2 touchdowns. It's a whole, Elias did the same exact thing to Rockbridge. They went and scored within 2 minutes of the game against Rockbridge, and the score ended up being 16-8.
Yeah.
I love it. You guys can obviously go do it. Consistently go do it.
And like I said, their offense looked flat, didn't really move the ball. One of the touchdowns they did have was a defensive touchdown. And as cool as that is, as great as their defense was, you want to see some offense, some high-powered stuff, some explosion there against a team like Cap City, who is a solid team, don't get me wrong, but just not of your caliber. And I don't think Cap City's winning a Class 6 state tournament game against anybody.
No.
And you got to look a little bit sharper than that. Someone who did look sharp, again, continues to look sharp, Blue Springs South. I thought maybe early in the year we put them up in the rankings too far. No. But they keep proving that notion wrong, and they keep proving the notion that we put them up in there right.
Yeah.
Blue Springs South, big game this week.
They got starting running back Darius Morgan back this week, and he didn't look back. Sadly, he was out. He got hurt in week 2. He's back in week 6, contributed, and he's looking forward to just having a great rest of the year, healthy, hopefully, and helping his team go either win a district championship or seeing how far they can go. But most importantly, let's look at this week. Liberty, a honorable receiving votes team for us. It's at Blue Spring South. I know we're not doing pick'ems yet, but I have Blue Spring South winning by 40.
I got Blue Spring South winning as well. I think they have a little bit better of a schedule. That they played a little harder schedule, and I think they beat teams a little bit more handily than Liberty has. Liberty's played a couple teams with losing records and played them a little bit too closely.
Yep.
Not something you want to see, especially if you're a Class 6 team in the Kansas City area that proclaims that you are the best in the area. I think Blue Spring South wins this game. They have a couple more that beat Lee Summit North, who is consistently...
Coach or not.
Coach or not.
They have talent.
Consistently one of the best Kansas City school teams. Blue Spring South went in there and beat them for the first time in 7 years. Cool to see that. Blue Spring South, look for them to continue to improve. We got Republic, Missouri right above them at number 8. Not trying to say I know ball or anything, but you guys picked Webb City.
Yep.
I respect it. I didn't. I had Rep Mo, and I had it in a low-scoring game under 50 points. That's exactly what happened.
49-point game.
A little bit of a comeback action.
Yeah.
It's cool to see.
All respect to Republic. They went in and they took over their trap, or however that song goes. Went in and took over your trap. Now, all respect to Republic. They've been one of the most interactive fan bases we've had this year. But something about Webb at home, you just get chills, but they couldn't pull it off. So that's definitely the headline is if Helias can pull it together by districts.
Well, here's the reality. Republic is going to host Webb City probably in the playoffs. Close game during the season. Webb City's ridiculously hard to take down at home. They have been for 2 decades now. I don't know how many wins Republic has at Webb City, but I would not take the over on a 1.5. I bet they don't have 2 wins in the last 20 years at Webb City. One of them came this week. It's awesome to see.
You see who Republic's playing this week?
Who they got?
At Carthage.
At Carthage. Another huge road game. Huge road game. Republic goes and gets this one. They're probably going to force their way up the power rankings even more.
And they're looking really good to fit against Platte.
That district is going to shape up to be incredible. And then, I don't think anyone's going to play Platte County close for the whole year. But Republic might be the only team that has a chance.
Yeah.
Right above them, who we got at number 7?
Tip.
Is that the hat you're wearing right now?
Might as well be. Tipton, what was it, 70-0 at halftime?
Ridiculous.
They're doing it. First Class 1 team that they've... No, I'm just playing. They're doing it against Class 1. It just sucks that they couldn't have gotten their stuff together against Lamar. They would for sure be the most dominant Class 1 team right now. I think it's extremely impressive to score 70 points in a game. Obviously, there's win by 70, not even just they almost scored 80. I think it's impressive.
I think we're going to have to catch another Tipton game at some point in this year, probably one of their playoff games. We did catch them versus Lamar.
Yep.
To me, that game looked like Tipton kind of
they
got
were
tight.
There,
they got tight.
Yeah.
They didn't make the plays they needed to make. To where the rest of the season, it's looked like they made the plays they needed to make. Lamar's a solid team. Wouldn't be surprised if they make another run at state and they get their stuff figured out there in Class 2. But, bigger school than Tipton. And Tipton, that, like we said it before, that game was closer than what the score was. They had a blocked punt that was a touchdown against them. Lamar did. And then Tipton was right there on the one with like 2.5 minutes remaining. Probably should have punched that in there.
Yeah.
That's how close that game. I mean, 2 plays, 3 plays make the difference for them. But above them, a team that is letting no plays make any difference for them all year long. They are the playmakers. Seneca. Oh my goodness.
Class 3 going up.
They go and beat everybody.
Class 4 teams
handily.
Carl Junction down.
A good freaking team.
I had Carl Junction almost making a run for Class 4 at the beginning of the year. Because it's like, Kearney, okay. Like at the beginning of the year, you're like, Luther North maybe, Festus maybe, Kearney maybe. Well, could you see a Carl Junction step up? And it looked like that at the very beginning of the season. So is it that Carl Junction isn't as legit, or is it just this Marion, or is it just that this Seneca team is actually this good and that they're coming back to win state actually this year?
I think Carl Junction is a really solid team, and I think Seneca is coming back with vengeance. I'm looking at Carl Junction's district. If they didn't have Logan Rogersville again in their district, I think they make it out of there. But they got McDonald County, Logan Rogersville, and West Plains in that district. Talk about another stacked district. Misha needs to get this stuff figured out because you're having some of the best teams all playing the same districts all across the state. But back to Seneca, watched them play last year against really, really good Blair Oaks team and lose.
They were there. They were winning, though.
And Seneca, Blair Oaks is nasty. We'll get to in a second, but they've been top 3 all year in our power rankings. And Seneca played with them last year. And it's all the same. It's the same guys that were there on that team, Blair Oaks, last year. So you got to think Seneca was playing with who is still the number 1 class team, number 1 pound for pound team in the state. They were playing with them for 3.5 quarters last year. A couple crazy plays were made. I think I got Seneca winning state.
It's going to be very close for Live for Life. I'll just say that.
It will be. Now, let's move on up to number 5. They finally cracked it.
Yeah, CBC went to Georgia. I'll say it again. Went to Georgia. 10
to Georgia.
10-hour car ride or something like that.
Christian Brothers.
It was crazy. After the game, they flicked up, took a picture of them on their field, added us.
What can you say?
So, context: this Georgia team is. If you look at their record, they're 2-4, and you're like, before the game they were 2-3. So you're like, well, their 3 losses are against the number 3 team in the nation, the number 20 team in the nation. Combined, those two combined 5 points losses. One was a 1-point loss, one was a 4-point loss, and then their third loss was against the number 70 team in the nation.
And you're talking about a team that would be probably a top 5 Class 6 school in Missouri.
Yeah.
So, Georgia has got good ball players. They have for a long time. Missouri, CBC, went down in there talking about walking your trap, take over your trap. That is what CBC did this year. Roll it, Kirko 2 Chains. And they did it. And the Christian Brothers went down to Georgia. Not the devil. The Christian Brothers went down to Georgia, and they looked for Soul to steal, and they did. Love to see that. Love to see a Missouri team put Missouri on the map. That's why they bumped up to 5. Still can't put them above our next team.
Can't. Nixa. You can't yet. Nix has had insane wins. And they've also had some Kickapoo-esque wins.
And they went to state last year.
Yeah.
And their roster's gotten better.
Yeah. Jane McCaster, our guest, the player of the week, has played 18 of 24 quarters, has 1,100 rushing yards, 10.5 yards a carry. It is 50th in the nation in rushing touchdowns.
And you got to think, if he's played 18 of 24 quarters, all the starters have.
Yeah.
Which is incredible. Be undefeated. They played some good teams. They've held some good teams off. I think they played tougher, more grueling opponents than CBC has. I think CBC has probably played some more talented opponents, but I don't think they've had the grueling opponents that the Ozark Conference is known for. But like you said, 18 and 24 quarters that the starters have played. You know who else hasn't played their starters very much this year? Because they're blowing teams out at halftime. Our number 3 ranked team,
Platte County.
They're unreal. They now have how many players in the top 25 for recruiting in state?
Too many.
Their whole roster, it seems like.
We make a video talking about how Rocco's the GOAT. Platte County schedule's hard. They go and play, right. So then people tell us Platte County's bad and Rocco's bad, right. So that's the immediate reaction we get from those videos. That night, Rocco, done at halftime, 250 passing yards, 6 passing touchdowns, and they beat they beat the 5th best team in Class 4 by 50 at half. You can't make that up.
You can't. You can't, and
the story's writing itself.
That's why this top 3 is so tough. Because what team are you picking? 3 different classes here at the top 3. Each team going up classes winning. Each team going down classes winning. Each team beating teams in their class. It's hard to pick a pound for pound champion here. And I just wish these teams would play each other. I wish our number 3 team would play our number 2 team in Kearney.
I wish they all played each other. I think all games would be pretty fair. Within 20.
We got number 2 team Kearney. Who's one of your favorite teams to watch? Maybe your favorite.
Yep.
What's so
I remind myself of the Twins.
Why are they number 2?
Nah, they're number 2 because they went and got another ranked win against a Class 5 team. They went and beat the 5th best Class 5 team.
They played up a class.
They played up again, back-to-back weeks that they played up and went to their crib and won. Like I said, name another class. Name another team in any class in Missouri besides Blair Oaks that is doing this. And winning by a dominant fashion like they are. So.
And they are, talk about hard-headed, rough-nosed, just get in and grind out victories, make the other team just not want to be there.
Yeah.
That's Kearney. Intense, elite defensive line.
Yeah.
And just a pounding offense. They're cool to see. They're my favorite for Class 4. Your favorite for Class 4. There's only a couple teams on the whole list that might beat them head-to-head.
And I think one of them's our first team.
This is my favorite team to watch. They have who I think is the first or second best quarterback in the state of Missouri. I think they have 9 returning defensive starters from last year that have started all year this year. Elite receivers, maybe the best scheme in the state of Missouri, and that is Blair Oaks. Tyler Backs. What can you say? They beat the crap out of everybody they play.
They went up. They beat Boonville.
The ranked team.
A ranked Class 3 team. So, it's the same song and dance every single week at this point with them. It's just, it's not going to stop. Get used to it, guys. Get used to it. They only have 2 more weeks of this until they get to go play actual Class 2 teams instead of moving up classes and playing with their food even then.
And it's just going to be gross to watch. I don't think there's a team in Class 2 that shakes a stick at them.
No.
I wish they would play a team that was going to challenge them. I just don't see it happen.
I wish they would play last year's Fairgrove or last year's Lamar.
Even then.
But even then, both of those teams would.
I want to see Blair Oaks play Platte County or Kearney. That's my dream game this year, and it's just not going to happen.
Top 3 versus each other, unless we set something up postseason.
The pound for pound game, the pound for pound bowl.
Bring it on.
Wish we could.
If you're a coach, hit us up.
Wish we could, but that's our week 7.
Week 7.
Pound for pound rankings.
Pound for pound.
It's been a good year so far. And I think every week it's more and more clear that CMG Sports knows what the heck they're talking about.
I'll just put this. Not a single team in our top 14 pound for pound lost.
Did anyone else's top 14 do that?
No.
I don't think so.
So, like we said,
knows ball.
We know ball. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Week 6 recap and the Week 7 preview. It's been fun as always. Jason, Joshua. This segment is one of my favorite that we do all week. I just love sitting down and talking about football for 30 minutes straight.
It's my favorite thing to do.
Please catch us next week. Same time, same place, same website.
Like, sub, comment, you know the deal. Let us know where we were wrong, which we weren't wrong anywhere on the pound for pound. But if you really feel like we were, go ahead and let us know. Guys, we will see you next week. Thanks for joining.